yourself, you need to create the perception that you do it in the first place. Once you create that perception you do it, you get the reputation that you do it. And once you get the reputation that you do it, you get the demand. It's that simple. Consistency. So this is obviously similar to relentlessness. Understanding that the consistency of your perception has to be flawless. As we said, you want people to look down your feed and see amazing work, amazing images, amazing energy every single time. Because you want the consistency of the perception you're creating to be there. You don't want an inconsistent perception, because then there is no true perception, there's no true demand. There's, again, perception precedes reputation, reputation precedes demand. If you want the demand to do more, you need to make sure you have a consistent perception, meaning you have a consistent reputation, meaning you get consistent demand. In cutting, it is, as we talk about a lot, it is our sight that dictates our ability. Whereas in building a perception, in building a business, and in marketing, it is our ability to be seen. It is our ability to be seen that dictates our growth. Every single thing, as we've talked about, has to be organic. It all starts with the smallest picture. One post, an organic post, and do that relentlessly creates an organic content. Organic content, doing it relentlessly, creates an organic market. An organic market is an organic community, meaning that your community completely agrees with either your aesthetics or your energy. But most importantly, believe in you and what you are doing. So as long as you are organic to your purpose, your community will be organic to your purpose. You do that and you build a support system behind you that will open doors for you that you never even dreamed imaginable. Remember, your community controls your future growth. As we've said, they provide the key to get to more people. They can open the door for you to get more people in your world. And as we said, to spread your energy as wide as can be. And to do that, you need to keep building your community. You rely on them. And for it to work, they have to believe in you. That's what we keep saying. Your community holds the key to your growth, as we've just been talking about, because they are the best advertisement you could ever have. They are the best, most rawest advertisement you could ever have. Because who is going to trust anyone more about you than their friends, than their own community? If someone within their community has put their trust in you, they know their energy resides in you too, then their community is going to be invested in you as well. And they're going to want to know more, want to be involved. Like, for example, when I do a class in any city in the world, the first time I've done a class there, throughout the history of my career, has tended to be a private class. Then, once people in that community see that I've done a private class for these people, and these people are friends with these people, and these people then tell them how much they learned and took and how much value they took from this class to their community. Next time I come back to that city, it's not a private class, it's a show, it's an event. Next time I come back, it's a bigger event. Next time it's a bigger event. This is a growth we're talking about, and that's real life growth. But that real life growth is only possible because of Instagram, because of social media, because it was them who found me in the first place to do that private class. From that private class, everyone else in that community seeing the stories, they're seeing the development, they're seeing the growth. They then followed me on Instagram. Because as we said, the tickets I've sold were through Instagram. I posted the posts on Instagram. They've seen the advertisement through Instagram. Social media still opens the doors, but you yourself have to do the work. You yourself have to provide the value and provide the quality and provide the consistency. Because you are, when they share you into your world, you are entering the trusted circle of energy that is theirs. But when you are entering it and you are then dispersing your energy there, it attracts the people to your energy too. Every time your community grows by one, it has the potential to grow by thousands. So every single time your community grows by just one person, its potential for growth goes up at least 1,000-fold every single time. So tactics. So a lot of what we've been talking about is understanding how things are working, understanding why things happen. So when we want to talk about tactics, so tactics are so important in social media growth. You have to do things tactically. So obviously we've already talked about today, posting day and time. One of the key elements to understanding how, when and why to post is, again, your demographic, understanding your market. So we need to understand that, as we've said, become and think like the consumer. when are you normally on your phone? The most common time for you to be on your phone is after you've eaten your dinner, your evening meal, before you go to bed. That is typically the most common time to be on your phone, somewhere within that period. Now, when you think about that, and then you think about, okay, what days would I definitely not be on my phone during that time? Typically, as a barber, late night is Thursday, right? So late night is Thursday. Friday, people go to the bar. Saturday, definitely people go to the bar. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, no go. Do not post on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, typically. Because those are the times when people are not on their phone. So when we think about that, then Sunday is a great area because it tends to be the day of rest. So people could be on their phones all day, but because they could be on their phones all day, there's no consistent time for them to be on their phones. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are my 3 main days for posting. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, between 8:30 and 9:30 UK time. Because for me and my demographic, that is the most popular time to post. But for any demographic in the world, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be the key time for barbers to post to attract more barbers to see their work. So when we think about that, and we think about whatever your demographic is, work out the biggest percentage of your demographic and post to suit them. As we said, mine is a mixture between the Brazil, the US and the UK. So posting at 8:30, 9:30 UK time, with all the time differences around the world, means that wherever you are in the world, there's a high chance that you'll be able to see that post. And again, being able to see posts being able to be seen by more than just 10-20% comes from people engaging on the posts. So tactically, what you want to do is you want to get yourself a safe banker of a certain amount of people liking and commenting on your photos. When you know you've hit a certain amount of people liking and commenting on your photos, it's then going to be shown on the explore page. It's then going to be popping up at the top of everyone's feeds. The way algorithms work, to be at the top of everyone's feeds, you need to have the likes in the first place, which sounds kind of crazy, obviously, because how do you get the likes if you're not going to be at the top of everyone's feeds, etc. But think about it. Just post at a time when you know that a high percentage of your following is going to be on Instagram, going to be on their phones. So then when they do it and they like it, everybody else that comes later, when they do log on, it's on top of their feed. For as many people as humanly possible. So for me, 8:30 to 9:30, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is the key time. Because I can then get the UK to like it. West Coast US, it's lunchtime, might be on their phones. East Coast, approaching evening, might be on their phones. Brazil, evening, might be on their phones. So there's a high percentage that a lot of people may see this post. I mean, when they do, they like it, comment on it. Anyone that hasn't at that time, when they do log on, it will be at the top of their feed. So it's all very tactical. Stories, when you're posting stories, understand again, you still want to post them as much as they're more casual, as much as they can be a little bit more persistent and relentless in terms of hammering in the same message, or showcasing more work at once, etc. You still need to make sure you're posting at times when people are going to be seeing it. If you've just done a class, post after the class because everybody in the class will want to watch back and be appreciating that they were there, etc. And it may incline them to share and post about the event too. Using hashtags. One of the most tactical things you can do with hashtags is to change your location depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do an event in Chicago, hashtag Chicago, Chicago Barbers. Wherever you are, hashtag that location if that's what you're trying to attract. If you're trying to build clientele for your shop, hashtag the town for your shop. It's common sense, guys, but something people don't think to do. As I said, I have put all my hashtags on here. I've given you all my hashtags that I typically use, but make sure you change them and adapt them to yourselves. Location tagging, again, same thing. If you're trying to hit a certain area, tag that location. Photo tagging, again, we've already talked about it. Tag who you want to see that photo. Don't necessarily just tag someone that you look up to, tag who could be beneficial if they see that photo. Either someone who's going to share it or a repost page. For me personally, I just always tag repost pages. Always tag repost pages because they're more inclined to help you if they see the photo and they like it and they're going to share it for you. And again, when they share it to their community and their world, it provides a chance for other people to join your world. What are you trying to advertise? Sometimes if you're trying to diversify your perception, if you're trying to move towards a new purpose, trying to diversify your purpose, maybe posting things that you know are reliable for the purpose you just had and for the following and community you've got, but the message behind it can be for your new purpose. So for me personally, you see the Online Academy a lot. Before we launched the Online Academy, we didn't have as much content from the Online Academy for videos, etc. So I was posting photos of haircuts that I know do well on Instagram, that I know people like, I know people love, and I know people would share, comment, like. I posted those, but the actual caption was about the online academy. So I was getting my message across, the energy across for what I wanted to, my advertisement across, using something I knew that did well, using something I knew caught people's eye and it got people's attention. So one of the last things I want to talk about on these slides before we move through to discussing the actual diagrams is repost pages. So obviously sometimes there is a debate between whether repost pages are helpful or not. Repost pages, yes, they do help. What we tend to find is that repost pages mainly tend to aim to try to support up and coming barbers. And so what you find is through the middle phase of your career, there is a huge relationship between your page and repost pages. But through the beginning of your career, through the early phases, as you all know, it is your community, your friends, your family, your local support unit that help enhance your community, that help build and grow your community, that are sharing your work. Because at this point, repost pages probably wouldn't have access to your page. But once your community builds enough and it grows enough, and you're building and you're relying on your community to enhance it enough, it gets to the point where it gets the attention of the industry. And getting the attention of the industry means it gets the attention of the repost pages. And then that helps it boom and spread out. And so make sure you ride that wave of repost pages. Make sure you ride that wave. Obviously, prior to that, you're relying more on word of mouth. And word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertisement in the world. But that's when you remember, sharing photos on Instagram, sharing photos on social media, liking, commenting, and everyone else be able to see that you've liked and commented, that's also word of mouth. So once your community builds up to a substantial enough amount, yes, repost pages will still share your work, but that is not the true reason for your growth. The true reason for your growth at this point is your community and the word of mouth. Again, it comes back in a circle and the word of mouth, again, becomes the most powerful influence on your growth. Again, the repost pages are still there. They're still helping you. They're still posting your work and they're still enabling more growth than we would without them. But it's your community that is the most powerful sense of growth, the most powerful aid to your growth. Because, again, it's that word of mouth. Nothing is more trustworthy than word of mouth. And that is what's going to help spread your ethos, your message, your energy, and your work across the world. Your community. Because every single time your community shares your work, it enables you to reach out to more people. And yes, a repost page can do that. But what's better than a repost page is 50, 60, 100, 1,000 of your own community. Because don't be fooled, people will always know that that repost page isn't in your community. Because what you have to remember with repost pages, yes, are amazing. And they share people's work, helps expand everybody's world and everybody's community. But you have to remember, they're sharing everybody else too. And that's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they're sharing everybody else. But that's not then going to be as powerful or as trustworthy as the word of mouth from your community. Directly from your community. That itself is way, way more valuable and valued as an opinion than a repost page. Again, it's not to say that they're not valued. Of course they are. But in terms of your growth and reaching out to more people, something that is deemed a lot more trustworthy is going to be the word of mouth from a member of your own community. So make sure you remember that. Ride the wave of repost pages. Always value repost pages. Anybody sharing your work is valuable. But remember what to focus on. When you don't have a substantial community, the repost pages will enable you to build a bigger community. They will. But once your community is substantial enough, the repost pages are good, but they're not the most important. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to take a journey through the diagrams that you'll see on the presentation. So the first three diagrams that you're going to see, what these are doing is these are depicting what I was talking about, the repost pages and the stages in which the repost pages influence your growth. So we look at obviously the first stages of your career. So the first stage, you'll see a blue tick, you'll see the circles on the first stages of your career. So these, as we're talking about, this is where your community that you have, albeit small, is your main influence in your growth. And this allows you to branch out and widen and grow your community further than your immediate community. So this is what allows barbers to see you. This is what allows yourself to be seen by your peers and members of the industry. Again, what we're looking for is a presence in the industry. So that initial community aspect allows you to grow and begin to build some form of visibility within your industry. Then we have the middle period of your career.